Jephthah's story begins shrouded in a shadow of illegitimacy. He was the son of Gilead, a respected man, but his mother was a prostitute, a fact that would forever haunt his life.
I grew up with the stigma of my mother's profession clinging to me like a second skin. My half-brothers, born of Gilead's wife, looked down upon me with disdain.
He longed for acceptance, for a place among his family and peers. He yearned for his father's approval, but it seemed forever out of reach.
My childhood was marked by loneliness and a sense of not belonging. The pain of rejection fueled a burning desire within me to prove my worth.
He possessed a natural charisma and a warrior spirit, qualities that would later shape his destiny. Even in his youth, he displayed a talent for leadership, attracting a band of loyal followers. Driven by jealousy, his half-brothers conspired to expel him from their land. Gilead, swayed by his wife and sons, banished Jephthah, forcing him into exile.
The pain of rejection by my own family cut deep, leaving a wound that would never fully heal. I sought refuge in the land of Tob, a desolate region known for its lawlessness and violence.
There, he gathered around him a band of outcasts and adventurers, men who, like him, had been rejected by society. He became their leader, their protector, and their champion.
I learned to strategize, to command, and to inspire loyalty in my followers. Despite the hardships, I never forgot the injustice I had suffered.
He yearned for the day he could return to his homeland, not as an outcast, but as a leader, a man worthy of respect. He bided his time, waiting for the opportunity to prove his worth to those who had rejected him. Years passed, and the land of Gilead faced a new threat. The Ammonites, a powerful and aggressive nation, were encroaching upon their territory. The elders of Gilead, desperate for a strong leader, remembered Jephthah, the outcast warrior.
Jephthah, we recount the plight of Gilead, the threat of the Ammonites, and our desperate need for a leader. We acknowledge our past wrongs, admitting our error in banishing you.
Jephthah listened intently, his heart torn between the bitterness of his past and the call to duty.
I see an opportunity to reclaim my birthright, to prove my worth to those who cast me aside. Leading Gilead to victory against the Ammonites would not only secure my position as a leader, but also offer me a chance for redemption.
He agreed to return, but not without conditions. Jephthah, hardened by his experiences in Tob, returned to Gilead not as a supplicant, but as a seasoned warrior and leader. He negotiated with the elders, demanding recognition as their leader, not just for the duration of the war, but permanently.
We agree to your terms, Jephthah. We recognize your strength, your military prowess, and the unwavering loyalty you command from your men.
Jephthah's return to Gilead was a moment of triumph, a vindication of his worth. He had overcome the stigma of his birth and the bitterness of his exile.
I immediately began to organize the defense of Gilead, rallying the people and preparing for war. I inspired them with my courage and my unwavering confidence.
He transformed them from a demoralized populace into a fighting force ready to defend their homeland. He embraced his new role with determination, ready to face the challenges ahead. The Ammonites, emboldened by their recent conquests, posed a formidable threat to Gilead.
A direct confrontation with the Ammonite forces would be costly. We must first attempt to resolve this conflict through diplomacy.
Jephthah, ever the strategist, knew the risks of a direct battle. He sent messengers to the Ammonite king to negotiate a peaceful settlement, citing historical claims and ancient treaties.
My lord, the Ammonite king scoffed at your claims. He asserts his right to the disputed territory and threatens to crush Gilead if we do not surrender unconditionally.
The Ammonite king, arrogant and dismissive, rejected Jephthah's pleas for peace.
Remember, we fight for our families, our homes, and our very existence.
He rallied his troops, reminding them of the stakes involved. As the battle with the Ammonites drew near, Jephthah, driven by a desperate desire for victory, made a rash vow to God.
If you grant me victory over the Ammonites, I will offer as a burnt offering the first thing that comes out of the doors of my house upon my return.
In his zeal to secure God's favor, he failed to consider the potential consequences of his vow.
I place my trust in God's power, but this vow, it places a heavy burden upon myself and my family.
Jephthah's vow revealed a complex interplay of faith, desperation, and a cultural understanding of sacrifice. He felt bound by his words, unaware of the tragic consequences that awaited him.
O Lord, guide and protect us. Let this sacrifice be worth the price of victory.
He prayed for God's guidance and protection, hoping that whatever sacrifice he was required to make would be worth the price of victory. He marched into battle with a heavy heart, torn between his desire for victory and the weight of his vow. He placed the fate of Gilead and his own future in God's hands. The battle against the Ammonites was fierce and bloody. Jephthah, leading his troops with unmatched courage and skill, inspired his men to fight with unwavering determination.
Press on, break their lines, victory is within our grasp.
After a hard-fought struggle, the Gileadites achieved a decisive victory, routing the Ammonite army and securing their territory. Jephthah returned home, victorious but apprehensive.
I've won the battle, but at what cost?
The joy of victory was tempered by the dread of fulfilling his vow. As he approached his house, his heart sank as he saw his daughter, his only child, rushing out to greet him, dancing and playing a tambourine.
No, my daughter, what have I done?
The sight of his daughter filled him with a mixture of joy and despair.
I have made a vow to the Lord, and I cannot break it. Oh, my daughter.
Father, if you have made a vow to the Lord, you must do to me as you have said. But grant me this, let me go to the mountains and mourn my impending death with my companions for 2 months.
Jephthah's daughter, a young woman of remarkable faith and courage, accepted her fate with stoic resignation.
I do not protest or plead for mercy. Instead, I request 2 months to mourn my impending death in the mountains with my companions.
She spent her final days in the wilderness, lamenting her lost future, the marriage she would never have, the children she would never bear. She grieved not only for herself but also for her father, who would carry the burden of her sacrifice for the rest of his life. Her companions mourned with her, sharing her grief and offering comfort in her final days. After 2 months, she returned to her father, ready to fulfill his vow.
Father, I am ready.
Jephthah, heartbroken but resolute, carried out his vow, offering his daughter as a burnt offering. The sacrifice was a testament to his unwavering commitment to his word, but it was also a tragedy that would forever haunt his life and the history of Israel. Her sacrifice, though tragic, served as a reminder of the profound consequences of vows and the importance of carefully considering one's words. The act of sacrificing his daughter left an indelible scar on Jephthah's soul.
The joy of my victory over the Ammonites is overshadowed by the profound grief I carry. I have secured the safety and prosperity of my people, but I have paid a terrible price for it.
The memory of his daughter's sacrifice cast a long shadow over his leadership. He struggled to reconcile his faith with the tragic outcome of his vow. Jephthah's story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of rash vows and the importance of considering the potential consequences of one's words.
I continued to lead Gilead for 6 years, but my leadership was marked by the weight of my grief. I never fully recovered from the trauma of sacrificing my daughter.
His story serves as a reminder of the human cost of war and the enduring power of love and loss. Despite the tragic events surrounding his daughter's sacrifice, Jephthah's legacy as a leader remained complex and significant. He had delivered Gilead from the threat of the Ammonites, securing their safety and prosperity. He had united the people and instilled in them a sense of pride and purpose. He was recognized as a courageous warrior, a skilled strategist, and a devoted leader. However, his legacy was also marred by the tragic consequences of his vow. His rash decision to sacrifice his daughter served as a cautionary tale for future generations. Jephthah's story is a testament to the complexities of leadership. It demonstrates that even those who achieve great things can be flawed and make tragic mistakes. The story of Jephthah's vow serves as a powerful reminder of the weight of words and the importance of careful consideration before making promises. Jephthah's rash vow, made in the heat of battle, led to a devastating outcome that forever changed his life. His story underscores the sanctity of vows in ancient Israelite culture. Vows were considered sacred obligations, binding agreements between individuals and God. Jephthah's commitment to fulfilling his vow, even at the cost of his daughter's life, reflects the profound significance of vows in his time. The tragic consequences of Jephthah's vow highlight the importance of prudence and wisdom in making promises. His story serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to consider carefully the potential implications of our words and to avoid making rash commitments that we may later regret. Jephthah's vow reminds us that words have power. They can bring blessings or curses, they can create or destroy.